I'm Phil S. Pumpkins. You got something you want to ask? Hi, I'm Phil. Welcome to Pretty Good Cooking.
Pretty good.
It is the time of year that I don the pumpkin suit and the pumpkin Crocs that are currently in casual mode, not sport mode. And we make a little spooky dinner, which means tonight, like almost every Halloween themed recipe that we've ever done, presentation will take priority over the quality of the food product. So we're gonna make some real nonsense tonight. This is a creepy pasta bake. Creepy pasta bake. You like creepy pasta? Know what creepy pasta is? You remember that shit? You got any favorite creepy pastas? If you like creepy pasta, we don't want to hear about it. Don't comment about it. Okay, let's begin. We're gonna make the pasta. And today's pasta will be Italian rigatoni. So all that effort that we spent making a mostly proper pasta fazool, we will now take any and all credibility we earned with the country of Italy, and we're gonna shove it into this springform pan and really just disgrace it ourselves. And you will be disgraced for watching this. Okay, so we need to preheat the oven. Very important reminder, this pumpkin jacket is flammable, so be very careful in working around the heating devices. We're gonna preheat the oven to 400 degrees. And we got a pot of salty water on the stove here to be boiled. The dogs need placating. Okay, while the water's heating up and we get ready to boil that pasta, we can work on other things. So, I had a moment of profound frugality in which part of the decorations we'll be using today would be mozzarella cheese sticks, individually wrapped. But I looked at the prices of said cheese sticks and I was like, that's too much, Bob. And I said, I can make some cheese sticks with a block of cheese. I think I saved several dollars by going this route. But what did I do in exchange? I gave myself more work to do. So, since there will be a bit of artistry in this dish, I will not create a perfect cylinder, nor will I make a cylindrical prism. Rather, I will cut the cheese, literally, not metaphorically, to try to make more of a rounded shape. And if it is pretty goofy looking, which I can already tell you, it will be, then it adds character and folksiness to our dish. And here it is, our cylindrical prism. I think that's good enough. In addition, we'll need to cut these into quote-unquote rounds. I feel bad calling them rounds because they're not round. But that's okay. Okay, so here's some of what they look like. Nice. And I'll just go ahead and proceed to chop the rest of that. And in addition to that, we can shred some Parmesan. Parmigiano. So I'll be shredding this cheese till the cows come home. Alright, here's some cheese. What else? I got some olives. These are the shittiest black olives. Because again, they are more for decoration than they are for taste. You could use whatever olives you have and you can doctor them. But today we're just gonna use black olives because I think that will get us where I'd like to go. And here they are sliced. How do they taste? Not much like anything really. They're olivey but not pungent. Okay, our water's simmering. Here's our product of Italy rigatoni that we shall put into the water. Reading the package, which says to cook uncovered, probably for about 11 to 12 minutes. We're gonna err on the side of al dente. Specifically because we're gonna bake the ever-loving shit out of this pasta. So, there's no doubt in my mind this pasta gonna be cooked. And there it is. Okay, so I'll make a comment while this is boiling away. There, I saw comments on this idea, which I am adopting from Mama Latina. I think that's the source of this. Comments about completely covering your springform pan in foil to help with, quote, leakage. Now, that's an unpleasant word. I'm not overly concerned about leakage, maybe because I'm not that old yet, but I think I'm just gonna throw some foil on this here pan, and then if it leaks, it can just leak onto the pan, and it's fine. And then I won't have to struggle with wrapping this cylindrical prism in foil. However, we do want to oil our springform pan, and I'll go ahead and get the foil on the supplementary pan, and we'll use olive oil. Why not? And you can use a brush, or typically what I do is I just grab a little paper towel and I give it one of these. But to be honest, pasta's probably gonna stick anyways. It's called foreshadowing and prognostication. I've got it. Okay, we'll be back. All right, pasta is cooked. Actually, have not tasted it, but I'm sure it's fine. And again, I cannot emphasize enough. We're gonna cook the hell out of this, no problem. The recipe that I saw said to coat your pasta in oil, which is like an old wives' tale to keep the pasta from sticking together. We're making a pie where the goal is to have the pasta stick together in the shape of a pie or a cake or a pasta bake. Therefore, I'm gonna forego that and hope for the best. And here's part of my logic. We're gonna bake the pasta with the sauce, and I don't feel like the oil will do anything. So, there. All right. We do need to let this cool down a bit. In the meantime, we can get some sauce going. I am skeptical of the original recipe because it calls for using 2 24-ounce containers of pasta sauce. Seems like a lot to me, but what do I know? Not much. So I'm gonna start with one, and if I need the other, I've got it on deck. It also says to mix some Parmesan into the sauce, which we will lovingly do. Wow. And I will also remind all of you folks at home that in the spirit of Halloween and in the spirit of holidays, this is a recipe for children's food. The process of mixing the cheese into the pasta makes me think it's like, oh yeah, that's for kids. That's a true al dente. Very nice. Okay, so, oh, I'm sorry. Also, you're supposed to toss the pasta with some cheese as well. You may be surprised to learn that this jacket is not tailored to my form. I'm a little tight in the shoulders, so I have some maneuverability constraints. But I'm willing to make these sacrifices for your entertainment. Okay, so here's our springform pan, and what we're gonna do is meticulously place the pasta so that it stands vertically in the pan. This will take a while. My immediate concern, there might not be enough pasta. I could be totally wrong, could be totally off. So, I will be doing this for some time.
Leave a comment now if you think we'll underfill, overfill, or perfectly fill the pan.
You heard the man, that's what John said. Leave a comment if you think this is gonna fit good or not. I don't know, guys. I was correct in my analysis that it would slightly underfill. However, I think we can just give a little, oh no. I think what we can do is start working the sauce in, or maybe just do a little bit of this.
Use your excess cheese.
That's true. Yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we use cheese as a filler? We'll just do it in a couple of spots. It actually worked reasonably well. And you can kind of see that, like, well, you probably can't see because you weren't there to witness the entire process. This pasta is actually expanding a little bit as it cools down. But of course, we must keep our work very tidy. Perfect. Okay, next step will be working the sauce, the cheesy sauce, into the pasta. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by dumping all of this sauce. The recipe, again, that I'm referencing said to use half the sauce, so it would be 1 jar of sauce or can of sauce. And then, particularly if you're working with a child, cover this with plastic wrap. If you're not, then there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. So I'm going to lightly tap the springform. Of course, you know, if I had put the plastic wrap on, I could be much more fun with it. Yeah. And it looks like it needs more sauce. I should have never doubted them. Now, I'm not gonna bother with cheese this time because I got enough of that. If you wanna save yourself some effort of tapping this thing around, pour the sauce into the noodles like I've done here. Pasta. I don't really know if it needs more, but what the hell? What am I gonna do with half a can of pasta sauce? John. Pasta power. This is slightly tedious, but it's not the worst thing I ever done. Oh, that's terrible. Don't do that. Oh, God. I did it even worse.
Like you said, don't do that. You did it again.
I'm cooking intuitively, you know? I'm not following my own directions. Okay, I'm gonna do one of these. My immediate impression is that it's probably too much sauce. So actually, I'm gonna preemptively pull some out. Just a little bit, because because that's what I want to do. Deal with it. Right now, what it looks like is that we've made a very fancy spring-formed spaghetti-o cake. Okay, so there's that. Looks good. And this we will bake in our oven at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. Spaghetti-o pie. We'll be back soon. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes, and here's our progress. It still looks like SpaghettiOs, but it is starting to congeal for sure. I will also point out that leakage is a legitimate issue. So legitimate you can see over here, we're starting to get some sauce coming out. But overall, it's holding up reasonably well. I'm happy that my half-assed solution was effective. Okay, I am gonna add some Italian sausage to this to get some protein into this cheesy blob of carbs. This is just Italian sausage, pork sausage that I cooked for some pizza, and I think this will make our make this less fun looking as an end product, but that's okay. No problem. I'd rather have the sausage than the pure aesthetics. And we're gonna hit it with cheese on the top. This is pizza cheese. No, I'm sorry. This is Italian style blend, which is mozzarella, smoke flavored provolone. I like when there's flavor in the name. Romano, Parmesan, Fontina, and Asiago. So I don't think you need a ton of cheese here, but of course you can use the amount of cheese that your heart tells you to put on it. But really, I would say don't overdo it, simply because we will add a little bit more cheese, and we want to still be able to see some of the tubes. And in an ideal world, we hope that some of that cheese kind of falls into the tubes of the rigatoni. I used about 1 cup of Italian cheese. Yes, John?
Are you putting Italian seasoning on now?
Yes, I am. Thank you for the reminder. I just thought it would be nice to add some Italian seasoning. The Italian sausage will do us some good in flavoring this as well, but I personally think that a basic pasta sauce with Parmesan in it is probably not enough seasoning for my taste. In this will go again for another 15 minutes. We will be back. Okay, it's been another 15, and I still don't have the jacket on. Oops. Now it just looks like a pizza pie.
Scary.
Yeah, how horrifying. Now we're gonna add decorations. So those rounds, these thingamajigs, perhaps not so round, these little blobs of cheese, we're basically just gonna try to melt them briefly because we are going to turn them into eyeballs. Creepy peepers. Creepy peeper pasta bake. I think that's probably sufficient. Maybe more is less. Less is more. And once more back into the oven. And we're just gonna do this for like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, just to melt those cheeses a little bit. So we'll be back real quick. Don't go nowhere. Oops. It melted faster than expected, but that's okay. So we've got our globs o' cheese. And into those we will press black olive. It's looking pretty creepy. I'm terrified already. If that's not creepy, I don't know what is. Now that we've done this, we're gonna further garnish it through a method of my own devising. I thought it would be fun to add some creepy pepper tentacles. Blah blah. And these should fit right into the rigatoni tubes. Don't you just feel the Halloween spirit? It defies nature. And that's it. So we need to let this rest probably about 10 minutes before we crack it open. And I'll show you how we pop the springform off, and then we'll cut it up and serve it. But that today is our creepy peeper pepper pasta bake cake pie. Spooky for Halloween. We'll put the jacket back on when we eat it. Okay, let's release the beast, maybe. Oh, I forgot to say, you should run a knife around the edges for a more clean departure. Depending on how well baked your pasta bake is, it might not be necessary. Mine doesn't seem to be too sticky. And then we springform, and zuttalo! And now it looks even creepier because it's steaming. Hell yeah. Look at that shit.
Can we light the tips of the peppers on fire?
No. And I'm gonna put this back on the pan because I feel better about cutting this thing up on that rather than, this nice porcelain dish. Okay, so let's cut into it. I don't have one of those sweet pie servers. I kind of wish I did.
Use your hands.
You said just use my hands?
Yeah. very scary.
Stay in your lane, John. Let's see if we can't. Nope. This is actually such a struggle at the moment. Come on. Hold together. And there's our very beautiful pasta cake. Just look at that beautiful side section. All right. Ooh, so spooky. Okay, it's time to eat it. And yes, I will temporarily remove the cayenne. So my first comment is that it falls apart like it should when you go to eat it. And it just tastes like rigatoni with Italian sausage. So that's fine. It's actually really good. It tastes like pasta flavored in a pizza style.
Because that's what it is.
It's almost like pasta from a pizza joint, you know, like maybe it's a little Pizza Hut bullshit pasta. But it's very tasty, and I'm happy to be eating it. Wow, what a ridiculous exercise that was. Therefore, so concludes our Halloween tradition. I'm Phil S. Pumpkins. Is there anything you'd like to ask? We'll see you next time on PGC. Still haven't lit this jacket on fire. Toodaloo.